and welcome to Art Lab with Miss Neff. Today we will be drawing and painting sunflowers like Vincent van Gogh. So to draw and paint sunflowers like Vincent van Gogh, you are going to need just a few things. You're going to need paper or some other form of paper product, like you can use cardboard, to draw your sunflowers on. To draw your sunflowers, you will need some crayons. You can also use oil pastel, it's totally fine. I'm gonna use crayons today. You want sunflower colors, so you are gonna want some yellows, some greens, some oranges, and then you're going to want like a brown also. The other thing that you're going to want for the painting aspect of the sunflowers is watercolor. So, just get out your watercolor palettes, paintbrush, water cup, and you will be good to go. In the video, there's a portion where I put away my crayons and I bring out my watercolors. If you don't want a watercolor, you don't have to bring out your watercolors. What we're going to do is we're going to watercolor over the whole image to kind of fill in gaps where, our crayons didn't fully cover up. And we're also going to paint the background. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You can color in the background and you can skip the watercoloring. But I think the watercoloring is fun, so if you have watercolors at home, I recommend following along in watercoloring. Between the years 1888 and 1889, Vincent van Gogh painted 5 large sunflower canvases. Today we will be drawing inspiration from the center picture to draw our sunflowers. First thing you're going to want to do is get a piece of paper. I put some extra paper underneath just to help with the watercolor portion, but if you only have one piece, that's fine too. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my top sheet of paper and I'm going to fold it in half. And that's going to give us a guide to help make sure that our vase that we draw is not super, super tiny. After you fold it in half, take 2 fingers on your non-drawing hand and place them right underneath that line. Then you're going to take your yellow-orange crayon and you're going to draw about the length of your pointer finger. So I have a line right there, and then right down here, I'm going to draw a line about the same size. It looks a little bigger, so maybe I'll make that one up top. So now I have 2 lines, and then this will be my vase. So if you know how to draw the letter C, you can do this. So I'm just going to draw a backwards letter C and a letter C. Let's draw in some flowers. In Vincent van Gogh's painting, he has some teddy bear sunflowers, the really fluffy ones, and then he has kind of our classic sunflower. And he uses a lot of different colors. Some of them have a green inside, some of them have like a yellow-orange inside. So don't be afraid to mix and match your colors. You don't have to follow along exactly with me. I think in my vase, I'm just gonna do 3 sunflowers. If you wanna do more, if you wanna just do 1, that's okay. But I'm gonna do 3 today. So I think I'll start off with one of those really fluffy sunflowers. And I'm going to give mine a green circle, so I'm just using a yellow-green crayon. And remember, when you make your sunflowers, make them big. You don't want these tiny little sunflowers, right? So I'm gonna make my center of my green one. I'm gonna kind of draw a circle. And then I'm gonna get out my yellow-orange again. I really like this yellow-orange. And I'm gonna do my teddy bear sunflower. So I'm gonna kind of do a texture in a wave form, right? I'm doing kind of like a wavy line. I'm just going up and down. It's kind of like drawing the letter M over and over again. So I'm just gonna keep drawing my letter M until I have a circle. Now I wanna draw, maybe I'll draw like a typical sunflower. So I think I'll do a brown inside. And I'm gonna do it over here. And I'm gonna make a really big circle. It's right next, it's almost as big as my teddy bear sunflower. And now I'm gonna draw that sunflower's petals. So I'm gonna use a yellow. Now I'm gonna draw petals. And my petals are gonna be so big that they're gonna go off the paper a little bit, and that's okay. To draw these petals right, you just start small. Kind of like start small in the middle, and then you come out a little bit. It's sort of like drawing, just like we did for the vase, it's sort of like drawing a bunch of C's. maybe, remember, if you watch the bunny video, he talked about things that go behind, right? Drawing things behind something else. So maybe this petal that comes right here is actually hidden. So I'm not gonna actually really draw it because it's hidden. Maybe this petal, right? It's hidden right here, and then boop, you can see it. And then we'll fit one more right here. Right, and now I have a big sunflower. And then let's draw another sunflower over here. For that one, I'm gonna use a dark orange center because it sounds fun. So I'm gonna draw another sunflower here. I think I'm gonna make it a little smaller than this one, but not too much smaller. So I'm gonna draw a nice center. I'm gonna use my yellow again, and I'm gonna draw my nice big petals. Okay, that one goes behind. This one goes like that. There we go. And now I have 3 big sunflowers. And you see I drew that big vase and my big sunflowers? So now my painting, well, we'll be painting, right? It's gonna look really cool because it's all full of pretty sunflowers. So the next thing we're gonna do, because I forgot to tell you to do it earlier, is get out your yellow, orange crayon, or whatever color you made your vase, and you wanna make the table line. So you don't wanna make the table line right here, because our vase isn't sitting on the edge of the table, right? We're looking at it and it's sitting maybe in the middle of the table. So if we want to look like it's sitting in the middle of the table, we're gonna draw a line about right here. Okay, so now I have my table and I have my vase, right? And my vase doesn't look like it's floating in space anymore, and it also doesn't look like it's teeter-tottering on the edge of a table. It looks like it's nice and centered on a table, which is what we want. So now that we've done that, we can put that away. And we can get out our green because our flowers need some stems. So we're gonna have to do, right, a little imagining, right? Some of our flowers are behind or in front of each other. So I'm gonna start with my teddy bear sunflower. I'm gonna think, okay, maybe the stem is right here, right? And then this one, maybe the stem is bent like this. And this one too, maybe the stem comes all the way like that. It comes down here. Right? And so now I have my 3 stems. So here's the fun part, is once you're done outlining everything, you get to start coloring. When you start coloring, you can add different colors into different sections. So if you just watch, I'm gonna add a lot of different colors into different areas. Okay. So when we're coloring, we wanna add some Vincent van Gogh line work, right? And so he does a lot of like these cool, dreamy, textured lines. So that's what I'm really gonna focus on with my crayons. So I'm gonna add some just lines with my yellow crayon on the inside of each of my petals. And that's just gonna give me that cool kind of Vincent van Gogh texture. Remember to press hard. And I'm gonna add in some other colors to this. So I found a peach, and I think peach is a great color. So I'm gonna add in some peach lines too. All right, let's work on my center of this one. I'm gonna kind of give it another center. One of the sunflowers sort of has like a lot of the sunflowers kind of have 2 colors in the center. So I'm gonna do brown. I'm also gonna do a regular orange, so not light orange. I'm gonna do a dark orange in the center also. I'm gonna do swirls. See what kind of lines you can make with your sunflowers, what kind of different textures you can get. I'm making squigglies right now, around and around and around. Okay, let's do our teddy bear. I'm gonna use orange, and I'm gonna use light orange, and I think I'm gonna use like a scarlet color also. Give it lots of cool colors and textures. So all I did for my teddy bear sunflower was start with orange, and I went around and around in the squiggly texture, and then I added a little bit of the scarlet, and then I went and got my light orange and added some of that too. Then I grabbed my green crayon and made a swirl for the center. Okay, let's move to this guy. Maybe I'll add some orange in with this guy. I decided to mix in some yellow too, and I added more lines with my yellow than I did with my orange crayon. After I finished my petals, I grabbed my orange crayon and made a nice swirl center. I think I'm going to add a little bit of that scarlet in the middle too. All right, get our stems. For the stems, I'm just kind of coloring nice. There you go. And our vase. So Vincent van Gogh's vase is 2 colors. If you want to do 2 colors, that's fine. Like it's split in half, you know, like half is one color and half is another color. If you want to do that, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine too. I'm actually going to split mine in half like how he does. So I'm going to make this portion brown and this portion yellow. But I'm still going to add my nice textured lines. So I'm just making lots of lines right on top of the other. And you know what? It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of patience and control, but those are really good things to practice. In art, you have to be patient and you have to have control sometimes, and that's a good thing to practice. Okay, I'm gonna do the top. He does it in like a yellow, and I think I'm gonna do that too. There we go. So, I'm actually going to leave this part and this part blank because I'm just going to paint those in. But if you do not want to paint or you don't have paint, this is the part where you would start coloring in the table and the wall. In Vincent van Gogh's sunflower painting, his table is kind of like this gold brown color, and his wall is a light blue. So you could color the table, you could do a mix of brown and yellow or brown and orange, and you could do the wall a blue color. So you could do that if you want to. If you have paints though, and you want to start painting, keep watching and we're gonna paint. All right, it's time to paint. So a quick thing to remember is it's always easier to go darker than it is to go lighter. That means that it's always easier to start with a lighter color and make it darker than it is to start with a darker color and try to go lighter. So we want to think about that while we start our painting, right? It makes more sense with that knowledge to start with my light yellow flower petals than it does to start with my brown center. So I'm going to paint my yellow things first. So I'm gonna get my yellow, and I'm sure you can see my yellow. It's a little bit dirty, but I kind of, you know what? It's okay. It's kind of like this green yellow. And if yours is a little bit dirty and you don't like it, you can kind of clean it out. I'm cleaning mine out a little bit. You just get your paintbrush wet. You dip it in your water cup, right? Now it's a little bit cleaner. Now it's less green yellow, but I don't really mind that green yellow. And remember with watercolors, you want lots of water. If you don't have lots of water, right, it gums up. So, I'm gonna swirl, nice and gentle, right, remember? Now I'm gonna start painting. So, we're gonna practice control again, right? I'm gonna try to go around my teddy bear sunflower. And if you get a little bit of paint somewhere you don't want it, it's all right. But look at how cool that looks, right? The crayon resists the water. And that's because crayons have wax in them. And if you have oil pastel, the same thing happens with the oil in the pastel. So I am using my best control and patience to paint inside the lines of my sunflower. And the crayon kind of helps the paint not get everywhere. Remember when you're painting with watercolor not to press on your paper really hard. When you do that, what can happen is that the paper will actually start to rip and you'll get these little weird like rolled up paper strips, and that's you're pressing too hard on the paper. So let's look at this one. I think this one, I kind of want to do yellow orange. And the great thing about watercolor is you can actually mix right on the watercolor. Mix right on the paper. So I'm gonna get my orange ready over here. I'm just gonna take a little bit. When you're mixing colors, the same rule applies. It's easier to go darker than it is to go lighter. Orange is darker than yellow, so I'm just taking a little bit. Perfect. Look at that nice yellow orange I have. So you can mix right on your paper, or you can mix in a palette. So I'm gonna kind of clean this one a little bit. Looks like we got a little brown in there, but that's okay. That's kind of a cool color. It's kind of moody and brown. It's a little bit brown, but that's okay. Oops, got some of my teddy bear, but that's all right. I'm gonna add a little bit more yellow. There we go. All right, let's get our teddy bear. I want that one pretty orange, because it sounds sort of fun. And I'm gonna mix in a little bit of yellow. Let's get our orange centers over here. All right, let's do our yellow in our vase really quick before we move on to anything else. If you want your vase to be yellow, I'm gonna do mine yellow. Here we go. All right, I would say the next lightest color is greens. So I'm gonna do a yellow green. And I'm gonna mix right on my paper again. So I'm gonna take a little bit of yellow. I'm just gonna add it to my stems in the center. And then I'm gonna take a tiny, tiny bit of green. I'm gonna go right over it. Perfect. Okay, our background, I'm gonna do light blue. And I know that that's lighter than brown, but I wanna do our background last. So we're gonna do the table and our centers next. So if you want to do like a Vincent van Gogh table, it sort of has this orangey brown color. So I'm going to actually use this color that I have right here, and I'm going to paint my table a mix of that color and orange. And I'm going to mix that right on the paper. I guess Vincent van Gogh's is a little bit more yellow, but you know what? That's okay. I like orange a lot. Don't want to forget your corners. And then I'm going to use a little bit of yellow. Just a little bit of yellow right on top. And look how pretty that is. Okay, now let's paint our brown. Remember, lots of water. I got a little bit in my yellow, but that's okay. It's kind of cool. Adds more texture. I'm gonna mix in some of this color too. All right. Now the last thing to do is to paint the background. So I'm gonna gonna mix some blue in this big one where I already mixed blue a while ago. I'm gonna add more blue to it. And this is just a reminder, if you want something lighter, all you have to do with watercolor is add more water. That's the secret. It's no big conspiracy, you just add more water. Ooh, I like that. So I'm gonna paint my whole background in this color. You wanna remember, control, right? Patience and control. All right, and there you go. You have your own Vincent van Gogh style sunflowers. All right, I hope you had a really good time drawing and painting Vincent van Gogh style sunflowers. I think mine turned out really nice, and I bet yours turned out really nice too, and I can't wait to see them. Until next time.